If you're recently divorced and not sure it's time to start dating again, then this video is for you. I'm going to give you 7 questions you need to ask yourself to decide if you're ready or not. Hey there, I'm Chris Neal. I'm a licensed counselor who's been working with couples for years. I've also been through it myself, so I'm well aware how lonely and confusing it can be. It's tempting to jump right into another relationship just to move on with your life as quickly as possible. But if you jump too quickly, you may make bad choices, possibly even putting yourself right back where you started, in a toxic or unfulfilling relationship, wondering how you got there. Again, here are 7 questions to ask yourself so you can cut through the noise and focus on what's really important. First, I suggest you get really honest with yourself about whether you've healed enough from past hurts. Have you done the work? And I'm not just talking about the pain of going through your divorce. So often we carry pain from past relationships, family of origin, and other traumatic experiences. Honestly, it can be shocking how quickly other dating prospects show up on our radar after or even during your divorce. At a time when loneliness is high and self-confidence is low, I get how tempting it is to try to escape into the arms of someone new. Think about taking time to work on yourself. You can move forward with the confidence and wisdom to be your best for whatever comes next. The goal is to avoid repeating old patterns. If you can understand and heal from your past, then you can be empowered to develop a more secure relationship in the future, one that lasts because you're both in a more healthy place. Question 2. Do you know what you want to be different this time? This answer may seem simple at first. I just want to be happy. I want someone who treats me with respect or doesn't cheat on me, or I just don't want to argue all the time. But it's important to look beyond that because these are all symptoms of deeper underlying problems in a relationship. Think about this in 2 important ways. First, what are the qualities of my last relationship that felt so incompatible? How did both my partner and I approach things like mutual respect, conflict resolution, and connection? This means not only taking a look at how your partner participated in that relationship, but also your basic relationship habits. Now, this is hard work, but it's worthwhile if you'll spend the energy to do it. Second, of all the analysis aside, how do you want to feel differently around someone this time? While we like to think that our opinions and analysis are the best things to rely on, at the end of the day, it's our emotions that drive our choices. What feelings do you want to experience in your next relationship that may have been lacking last time? Safety, warmth, acceptance, maybe being seen and heard. When you can answer this, your intuition becomes a reliable tool for choosing new people in your life. I talked about this in my last video where I gave an 11-point checklist for post-divorce dating success. The most powerful of the 11 was learning to rely on intuition when deciding if someone is right for you. Give your intuition a chance to be a real resource for you by leaning into how emotions were intolerable in your past relationships and how you want to feel day in and day out next time. Question 3. Could you thrive alone? When we become able to manage our own lives without having to be partnered with someone else, everything changes. It's not that we want to be single, but the ability to find fulfillment, build friendships, keep the house, and manage our finances are the most empowering things we can do for ourselves and our relationship prospects in the future. When we can thrive on our own, we approach new people from a position of security instead of neediness. We're far less likely to get sucked into relationships with power differentials because we need to rely on someone else to be happy and fulfilled or to pay our bills. Instead, approaching new possibilities with the confidence of knowing we can always say, no thank you, it's a game changer when it comes to finding a partner. Knowing you can pass on a situation because you're self-sufficient means you can be patient and wise in choosing your next partner. It will also help you attract the right person. Those people who are controlling and manipulative, it's crazy. They have a radar for needy people. They're great at honing in on you and convincing you to get into relationships that are based on power differentials instead of equity and respect. Make sure your house is in order, practically, financially, emotionally, and it will put you in an entirely different position next time. Question 4. Do you have acceptable boundaries? Now, in my experience as a couples therapist, one of the most common reasons relationships fail is poorly defined boundaries. The ability to take responsibility for our own contributions to the relationship and avoid taking responsibility for those things that are not ours. Boundaries allow us to say to our partner, I love you, but it's not okay when you say or do that. Boundaries also allow us to have true empathy and compassion for others because we recognize that their feelings are not our feelings. Just because they're upset doesn't mean you need to be. Good boundaries are crucial for a healthy relationship, in my opinion, because poor boundaries are so often the reason for hurt feelings and resentment. Now, if these concepts sound a little foreign to you, if you're saying, yeah, I'm not good at that, it may be a clue that working on your own boundaries is needed. If you're between a marriage and your next relationship, think about taking time to work on those boundaries. When you've done this work, another's willingness to respect your boundaries becomes a pretty useful indicator of whether they are a potential long-term partner for you or not. Question 5. Do you know what happened last time? Marriages usually don't fail for simple reasons, and it may be helpful to drill down on what happened in yours. Even with clear problems like infidelity, these problems don't happen in a vacuum. Relationships are co-created, and even easily identifiable problems are usually a byproduct of larger patterns. It can be difficult, but often helpful, to work on understanding the deeper relational patterns that led to disconnect and separation last time. This is where working with an individual therapist can be really productive. We are trained to see patterns in relationship and help you identify them when to you, it just seemed like business as usual. Knowing yourself and the way your tendencies were present in your last relationship, you can work on bringing your best self to the future one. Question 6. Can you have grace for others? While good boundaries are crucial, it's also important to remember that we're dealing with imperfect humans in our relationships. When we're still reeling from a previous failed marriage, we can be quick to have strong reactions to any relational rupture. If you tell yourself either jokingly or seriously that you're a flight risk in new relationships, that may be a sign that past wounds are still likely to interfere with your new efforts to build connection. When getting to know someone new, remember, you're both starting from scratch, getting to know each other's wants, needs, and tolerances. Plus, when we're nervous and hopeful with a new person, our social graces can fail us sometimes. We get it wrong from time to time. It's a delicate balance, maintaining boundaries and recognizing your non-starters versus disproportionate reactions to little mistakes or misunderstandings. When we're still hurting from a loss, we can struggle to have grace for others, and we may react our way out of potentially great options. If you struggle to tolerate little mistakes by others, that may be a clue that more of your own work is needed before diving into a new relationship. People fail each other all the time, even in the strongest of relationships, and we need the ability to move on without holding grudges or running away. If you find yourself in one of those flight risk moments, try slowing things down. Take some time for yourself to drill down on this impulse. Maybe write about it in your journal or talk about it with a friend or therapist who will be completely straight with you. Your ability to have grace for others can help you build new relationships with security and trust, instead of your new partner constantly on eggshells out of fear that you may run for the door. Number 7, would you want the person who's attracted to this version of you? When you think about the current version of yourself, your existing boundaries, emotional regulation, self-awareness, self-sufficiency, who's likely to be attracted to that person? If you're still kind of a mess, in a place where you struggle with boundaries, have uncontrollable emotions, and you don't have your act together in your personal life, and hey, we've all been there, what does it say about the person who sees all that and goes, oh yeah, I'm in for that? Now, I'm not making fun here, but if our lives are chaotic, we're going to attract people who seek chaos. You just got out of the chaos of a failed marriage. Do you really want more of that in your new life? Work to become the person who attracts the right partner. When you get to a place of emotional, relational, and life stability, there will be people who want to be a part of that because it's what they want too. Now, where's the threshold on all this? How many of these questions lead you to, it's time to start dating again? How many of them, if you're being honest with yourself, suggest you need more time? Honestly, there's no formula here. I think you have to rely on your own awareness. Sometimes talking with a trusted friend can help. I don't think all 7 questions have to be a hell yeah before you allow yourself to go out on a date. I mean, nobody's perfect, right? Just asking these questions should lead you down the road of insight enough to make a choice with confidence. Now, if you do think it's time, check out my other video about successful dating after divorce. This will give you tons of additional ideas so you can have a low-stress, fun dating experience in this new time in your life. Hey, Hey, friends, thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.